everybody, Ramey here, and today what I want to do is I want to talk about instructional task analysis. I want to talk about it, at a very high level and just break it down because, I've done some longer videos on task goal and task analysis, and I see a lot of texts, and I've said this a bunch of times before, they don't make a lot of sense when you're talking about this step in the process. It's such an easy step and yet so important to get right. I can't believe I see students struggle with it because they don't understand what it was after they read their text. So at the most highest level, all that a task analysis is taking all of our content that needs to be taught and putting it down in a visual, or I could list it as well, depiction, so that I can see it and say, yes, all the content is here. So what do I mean when I say that? So you can see on my screen, I have this instructional goal here. Let's say my instructional goal was teaching someone how to brush their teeth. Very, very basic. You want to keep it basic when you first start learning how to do this. My goal is brush your teeth. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Those are all the main things I need to do to brush my teeth, which could be putting toothpaste on the toothbrush. Step 2 could be washing my mouth, and step 3 could be using mouthwash. And for step 1, well, what does that mean? Putting toothpaste on toothpaste. Why do I need to break this down further? I need to break it down further because we need to say, does the person know what toothpaste is? Do they know how to unscrew the cap? Do they know how to put it onto the toothbrush? How long do they brush their teeth for? Do they know what direction to do it? So you have all these different things that can happen within that. So the point of the task analysis is to break the task down to the point where you get to this level where I say, okay, my learners have prior knowledge, they know this, versus what they don't know. So I keep breaking my tasks down till I get to that level. It's very simple to do. It does not need to be a complicated thing. Once you know what your goals are, what you're trying to do, you can break those tasks down. You usually have to work with your client and SME to do this. And a lot of times what I do is I ask them for a bunch of content and get it so that I can start like formulating this and then work with them to actually nail it down and make sure we have all the pieces of content. Why is this important? It's important to do this because if I try to develop content, if I go in and try to develop content without doing my task analysis and I give it to my client, they're going to say, well, why you skip this one part? This is a quality check. It prevents you from creating bad training. It is super important. It's part of analysis. It has to be done. So that's task analysis broken down at the most highest level. This is all it simply is. Taking your instructional goals and breaking them down to that level where your users have the prior knowledge. That's all it is. It is a quality check. It must be done. I don't mean that you have to do it like, you don't have to necessarily do step 1, 2, and 3, because if you're developing training, you might be able to do step 1, develop training on that, and get that going and rolled out before you start on step 2. But you have to make sure that before you start designing and developing training for step 1 has to be done and approved by your client so that you don't run into scope creep or rework when you go into design and develop it and realize you're missing a bunch of content. Thank you.